Get my good side, okay? Can you get my good side? I don't really.
Mail of somebody else and stuff this in for I forget.
Morning.
Hey Brian,
How
I
you
think
doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
You're so good with electronics. Today I want to take, well, I stumble. It's okay.
Let's start with it.
It's a matter of learning. That's what it is. My kids always, they're not here, so I'm always trying to do stuff. But anyway, I want to take pictures tonight, and I did the post out on that. I've been meaning to do it. I just hadn't got there. So I wanted to add them out on the next door, so I thought maybe we could to that point. But to kind of I think shrink them down or something so they're not, because the only way when I go to bring them in, they're just full blown.
Send them to me. I'll give you an email. I have software I can
Bring it down, put it in. Yeah, we didn't do anything with the I still have Yeah, so anyway, that's what I want to do this time. So I just think it's good for the
Yeah, no worries. Just release
So, did you get one to Paul already? Are you at Bobby? Y'all heard from him? Okay, sorry.
How about you?
Oh, that's not, well, they fly to Amsterdam. No, they fly to Split, right? Didn't they fly into Split? Well, I think that was and Split. Yeah. Well, hopefully that ended. Well, that's what we said last time.
I know, no kidding. Well, guys, you're in the wind. You're in the wind.
Are y'all coming to the party?
Is it the GFIC flying breaker only?
Her daughter is up in big town, so. Oh, in San where does she live?
Because they got to switch the
Okay, but she says
and so he had to shut off with the mouth, and then they would and then I opened up the lid. So we're gonna.
You're gonna miss your pickleball player for the next couple weeks.
You also might want to so if you get a power switch, underneath the supports are gone. And so people are coming in.
yeah, they'll probably do that big excursion.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. How's everyone?
Well, the breeze is right here.
I just try and be a little considerate, knowing how hot it's going to be. So that's why we're doing a 9 o'clock meeting so that we can get out of the heat. So I officially call the meeting to order, 9:01. Quorum, we have all board of directors. We've got Mark, we've got Julie, we've got Oli, Yep, and Marta and Paul were all here, so we have it. Now, I have a sign-up sheet over here. If you would like to speak now, that's fine. If you would like to wait and speak on a particular item as we come to it in the agenda, just raise your hand, let us know. We're not going to stand on the 3-minute rule and all that lovely stuff. You know,
Unless they go for 10 minutes.
well, if they go for 10, then, you know, we'll start making noise. You know, we'll get the deer over here to just remind you that, come on.
2 minutes to work.
Sure. Yeah, we represent you. So we're not this autonomous board that wants to do whatever we want to do. We want to represent y'all. And so as we go through things, if you have comments, you know, we appreciate when you do keep them short and germane. But we want to do what y'all think is best for the community. That's our mission. That's why you guys elected us. Okay, approval of the minutes from the last board meeting. Everybody, I think only you sent them out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, any discussion on the minutes? Okay, I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next. Okay. Approval of minutes from the special meeting of May 1st. Okay, any discussion there, board? I move to approve the special meeting minutes of May 1st.
I second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Treasurer's report. Ms. Marta.
I have more copies up here if you didn't get one. I print a limited number, so we're sharing. I have a summary of key income statement information. Our assessments year to date are $187,154. The budget was $210,996, so we've collected the majority so far. Other income was $4,086, and the budget was $10,700, so we're close to half for the annual amount. Property expenses are, and I'm sorry, this information is as of the end of April because May books are not closed yet. The property expense is $79.21, and the annual budget was $70,420. So we're coming up in heavy mowing, and so that will increase with May and June, and hopefully not up to. Well, anyway, we got lots of budget, but budget is totally different from.
Yeah.
And administrative expenses, $14,959, whereas the budget was $56,975. So we're
Eating it up.
well, but still, we're not even good. Anyway.
We're halfway through the year and that's actually
Well, but
very good.
this is
4 months from-
Oh, April, okay.
Just 1/3.
It's basically a quarter.
That's right.
Third.
Yeah, about a quarter. So we're still well within budget. Utility expenses, $5,872, and the budget was $14,100. And I didn't list all of the expenses. That's what the jagged line is. So total expenses are $42,080 as of April 30th, and the total budget was $155,495. So even though certain expenses, notably insurance, have increased this year, we're doing pretty well with our budget.
Yes.
And then I show a comparison of certain balance sheet items. Our operating cash at the end of April is $161,102. since we've collected most of our assessments, that's not going to increase a whole lot in the future, and we're still burning with expenses. But anyway, I compared it to what we had at the end of January, which is when we had collected most of what we're going to collect, and that was $202,063. Accounts receivable, which is a reflection of our assessments collection, at the end of April, it's $88,413 compared to $150,656 at the end of January. So, like I said, we've collected more of the assessments. And prepaid income, which is where somebody pays their assessment beforehand, and I'm not sure, I have a list of who does that, but I don't know. And anyway, it was $8,843 at the end of April, and compared to $13,653. So there are not a lot of people that prepay, and I'm not even sure why they would. But anyway, anyway, here's my little thing blurred at the end. May we work together to make our neighborhood and community a wonderful place. Laissez les bons temps rouler ce soir. Everybody come to the social.
Amen.
French Canadians say wine.
A couple of questions. By prepaying, do you mean they prepay 2025?
No, for 2024.
They pay the whole year.
And it hadn't been collected yet.
Okay.
Or, they
gonna
have
say-
paid it. And that's what I'm saying, I don't know why anybody would do that. I'd have to go back into the details and go to those people and go,
Okay, but Ken's asking, I guess what he's asking, and I just want to verify, did they pay for 2025?
well, no, I think they overpaid. I think it's 24.
No.
But because it couldn't be 25, we don't even know what that is yet.
We don't know how much
So we're paying in arrears, right? When we pay our HO fee, it's in arrears. It's after the year's over for that. So we paid in January was for 2023. Is that what
No,
we
it's
said?
not.
But I said 2023.
So these people are just overpaying?
Part of it I noticed when I kind of looked through the financials, I don't think that that's sitting there because some of it hasn't been applied to the members yet. In other words, the management company collected it, but it doesn't look like it's been applied to the actual members yet.
Account.
I think
Right,
that's
that's
what
probably what it is.
Okay.
That could be.
That
And
makes
the
sense.
other question was, what's the process for people who haven't paid their assessment?
There's a whole,
We're in the legal process of trying to collect it.
they have to send out a notice first, and then a second notice, and then, eventually it ends up with the lawyer.
Yeah,
to collect.
it's almost like repossession of a house.
Are the majority lot owners as opposed to homeowners?
No, some of them are homeowners.
Yep, it's a combination.
So all of that 88,000 that's delinquent assessment? The accounts receivable?
Back to accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable, yeah, at this point.
Those are all delinquent?
They would be delinquent.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're actively working on that? 'Cause that's
Yes,
a lot.
yes,
We
that's
are.
the process I
Yeah,
was talking
and
about.
we are going through, and it's a slog. It's a very slow process.
Do they pay fees for collection? How does that work?
They're supposed to, yes.
Okay, so that's part of the legal
That's part-
process,
that's-
making them pay the fees to get them.
Yes, that the attorney fees and the late fees, and yes, that's
Yep.
all part of AR.
Yep,
And then
okay.
I have another question off of that topic, but
Well,
on
we need to stay on
financials.
topic.
Financials. What's the balance of the reserve account?
The what?
The reserve account,
It's approximately 350,000.
and is that roads and general together?
Yes.
Yes.
What's the general one? I'm kind of asking
I
for the
don't
pool.
know because I'm still trying to figure out Goodwin's books. And I have a question in to these people and they haven't gotten back with me, so maybe next
To answer your question a little bit to help with, one account has $127,181 in it. Another account has $115,901.21 in it. And then there's also some money that's in the general operating account at the end of April 30th had $160,000. We had $160,000 and $511 in our checking account. So that's basically the breakdown. Financial
402 or 403.
Yeah, but roughly 250,000 in reserves that we could, you know, for pools and things.
We need to find out to get the breakdown from the real management. Didn't really specify what the accounts were, and maybe Janet Grove in here she could, elaborate on that from the past boards. But now with the new management company, it's in a savings account, but it doesn't really tell us what was identified for back in the day. So we need to go back.
We're gonna
get the history.
We have questions in to clarify.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
And Ken, to answer your question more, this came from the management company, because we all got this. This goes through the collection process. If you want to read through it, I've got the email. It goes through the steps that our management company goes through the collection process. Yeah, like, $35 letter going out, and to answer Glenn, you basically said that those fees are all tacked on to the person that the collection is.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's the only bill I can think of where you're either not going to get your service turned off, or they're not going to come and get it, including your house.
You used to be able to, somebody couldn't access the amenities, but the state law that was changed back about 3 years ago took that away too.
And eventually it would end up as a lien on the property.
Right.
The only way you get it is when they try to sell.
If they know they're selling a lot in 5 years,
They don't get
roll the dice. They don't care. When you sell it, it's going to come out of the closing.
And unfortunately, one of the receivables that we have, that debt, is about 33% of that 88,000 roughly.
Yeah, there are like 3 accounts that account for like 90% of it.
Okay. If any other questions? Okay, I move to approve the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay, second.
Second.
We got it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. ACC.
I'm gonna report on that. Danny can't make it today, well, I'd just like to say, with the new management company switching over, we've had a few little minor hiccups, but I think it's gonna run pretty well once we get these hiccups taken care of today when we vote, the board votes on it. So now everything is pretty much done through the website of Goodwin, and it's open for everybody to see the process and anybody to comment on it as it goes through approval stage and review stage. So I think it's a very good thing for the community because everybody can look at it at any time and see what's going on with the ACC committee. So what the Danny's report is, 126 Bedford was approved for painting of the house. 104 Eden was approved for rear exterior wall and painting and AC screening. 105 is new construction on Bedford. 105 Bedford is a new home going up that's just started over the last week or two. 410 Bedford was approved for painting of shutters, and 421 Coventry was approved for exterior painting of the house as of just a few days ago.
What number was the last one? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
The number?
Yeah, I got it. 420. 420. Thanks. You could have this copy too. So we hope that the ACC now will portal with a good one. It's to streamline things. We still have certain requirements that the ACC has to meet, despite our articles and bylaws, that people, when they submit for new construction or additions or remodeling or any paint changes or some fences like that, that you have to still do a storyboard, a physical storyboard. So a lot of it is still actual intervention by the board, gets to actually physically see things in real time. And then we have a great storage facility now to keep a historical record of what the applications and approvals or disapprovals have been done in the community.
So what's
Are you charging like $500, dude?
No, so what happened was that, the new management company kind of didn't take our guidelines thoroughly and totally understand it. So what they charge, Goodwin charges, we've elected that a $35 fee for them to process it electronically, do all electronically paperwork, send out the notices, send out the approval letter, take care of all of the storage of it and doing all the legwork of that part of it.
And that's what they charge us.
And that's what they charge us, so that the homeowner will pay that. The $500 fee is for new construction, for application review, plus we also road damage $500 fee, and an application fee of $500. And then we also are now requiring a security deposit, because as we have found with a certain builder in the community, when he does damage to anything, he never pays for fixing anything. So we actually, like other communities that do in Central Texas, they actually get a damage deposit up front, and then if there is no damage, that deposit goes back to the homeowner or the builder. But if then there is damage, then the deposit is used totally or partially, or maybe an additional assessment if there's major road damage done to our roads. The whole people are responsible.
How much is that?
$2,500. Some other communities, I pay in Briarcliff, I pay $5,000 on retainer. And if you just even drop a little 1-by-1 foot square of concrete, they charge you for fixing that or repairing that. So it's a fair amount to hold $2,500 for the
Yeah, one of the things I just did the past 2 weeks, because there was confusion with Goodwin, I rewrote our ACC guidelines, incorporated in what we call A, B, C, D, E projects. So the A project, brand new build. B project, like a garage or a full room addition. C is where you change paint color or do other items like that. And then the D and E are in the category of small items. And what we're now going to do is we're only going to charge the $35 application fee for projects that are C, D, and E. For projects A and B, we charge the $500 application fee. For C, because it's painting of the entire building, we still want the storyboard, an actual physical storyboard. So if you're going to change paint, or if you're going to change rock or whatever, we physically, because you can give somebody a paint chip that you get at the hardware store, and then you hold it up to a painted surface, and guess what? It doesn't look anything like it. So that's why we actually request a physical storyboard where you slather on a little bit of paint, you give us a piece of rock so that we can actually see the color scheme that you're planning. So for A and B, we charge the $500. For C, D, and E, we will now charge only the $35 to community members. And for the C projects, we're still going to include the storyboard as we do for A and B. So I clarified that. What we had was two different sets, and Goodwin was looking at one, wasn't looking at the other, so I melded them together. This coming week, I'll get them approved at Burnett County, so it'll be dated, stamped, and we can move forward, and Goodwin will have exactly what we're requesting them to do. Anything else, Mark?
That's it. If anybody has any more questions.
Okay. All right, grounds committee.
Dan or Paul, I'll take the grounds and the social since they're kind of blended.
Okay, blend them together.
So as far as the grounds committee, I don't know how many of you know, but Danny Flinker stepped down as our chairman. So we are looking for a new chairman. Anybody want to volunteer, please let us know.
Can you elaborate on
The duties? Yeah. So basically the main duty is keeping up with the mowing. I've always backed that up with Danny through all the years. And I'm sorry, I was gone. And I did go ahead and tell him to mow, but basically our mowing is done as needed. We don't do it every 2 weeks. It's one of those things, as Marta was going through on the budget, that helps save us money. Because especially when it hits summer, you know how dry it gets, you're mowing for nothing basically. And then any other needs that the board basically needs as far as help with getting a quote or whatever that's relating to the grounds and keeping up with any of our
what I say, the common areas, also any of our amenities. So the bulk of it is basically keeping up with the mowing, and we also, as you know, that's the other part that we did. We did a spring cleanup. We had 18 people here. The budget, we kept that under with the social, did part of the sandwiches and the drinks, so that was about $160 that we spent for that, compared to about $400 last year. Didn't quite have as many people, but you notice that hopefully everybody appreciates that we're looking a lot better. I know Mark had a team out that collected how many loads of?
Thank you, Mark, because I gotta tell you, that was wonderful. I appreciate it.
That's the other part too. We actually talked about maybe doing that in the fall as well as doing another one. So again, that grounds chair would actually help coordinate that as well. Anything I missed, Josie?
Well, and the whole thing of it is, I'm sorry.
Isn't the grounds committee also roads committee?
The grounds and roads is together now. Yes, I'm sorry.
And so really you're just reporting back to the board. It's not like you're having to get into an argument or a fight, because that's not really what this is about. This is about just going and driving around, informing us of what is needed, because I work full time. I can't do it. So, you know, we're just looking for somebody to step up and help out our community.
Okay. Any other questions on the ground side? Yes?
Does the exterior of the pool, is that ground side, like if we said we needed to paint that, the cover out there where all the pool equipment is that grounds or is that pool?
That would be
And the
considered, but
fencing?
it's still part of the grounds. Like Josie said, you can still report it back.
No,
We
I'm
also-
talking about paying and maintaining all that stuff.
Like the pool
That would be
equipment
grounds.
buildings, the actual
Yes,
building.
or the
Yes.
fences for the
And those
pool. That
actually-
would be grounds, not.
Yeah, you can come under
Does
grounds,
the
but it
pool
gets,
included in grounds?
If you're talking budget, it's a separate line item.
yeah,
Right. So it
But-
just
but to
gets
be
done
clear-
and paid for, it doesn't matter.
yeah. But to be clear, in case anybody doesn't realize, we had a reserve study done, I don't know, I'm not gonna get my year right, because I didn't bring it, 2018, 16, long before I was on the board the last time. That reserve study goes through all of our amenities and basically says, this is the year that we should be looking at it. So what you're mentioning, like the pool equipment building, the one up at the hill was done last year, well, it was overdue by 2 years of when it was originally on the chart to be done. So not only is the ground person just saying, hey, should we look at possibly getting that repainted, or like another example is the fencing I know up at the hill that's due for being done. They would bring that to the board, like Josie said, so that we can make sure, hey, is it up on a reserve? Is it something that we can budget in to get done?
And it's really important. The reason why is because what ends up happening is we kind of missed our opportunity to actually budget it for this next year. So if we have any high items of higher value than $25,000, what will happen is if we budget it, we can actually do it. Okay, we are over. It basically overrides the $25,000 limit that we're held to during the year. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Then I have social.
Yes, please.
We're done, I'm sorry. Okay, so I already brought up the spring event. Of course, you all know we have a big social event tonight. Starts at 6 o'clock. The big difference is this year we're charging $5 a head, basically, or a person, to be able to do food. If you want to bring something, we ask that it only be dessert, because we're having fajitas, beef, chicken, rice, refried beans, all the fixings that go with it, along with chips and salsa. So that should be pretty much a full meal in itself. We'll provide water and tea. So if you want any other drinks, bring those. I would also suggest if you have any other chairs, because we're getting pretty limited on our chairs that go out. We're planning for 90 people. Last year we had 120. And so if you do have any extra chairs you want to bring along, that would be great. We're currently down to about 60 what we carry in stock. And we start, like I said, we start at 6. The band's going to start at 7. So we're hoping to go through the food line during that first hour. Of course, people can coming back and forth for a couple hours. We will begin taking the entrance or the money basically earlier than 6 o'clock so we can get started on time. Anybody have any other questions for that?
If you do bring a dessert, if you could bring a cover for it, or cover it, that would help.
Good point. Susan?
I think we should specify that we would prefer cash for payment, no credit cards accepted.
Yeah, well, we can't do credit cards regardless across the board.
You can do a check though.
And I prefer not a check. If we have to, the ones collecting the money know that we can take a check if we have to. But it becomes a big issue trying to get it turned into the management company and get it credited. Right, it's just $5. So
I know, but I'm paying for 4 people tonight, and I just forgot to stop at the bank. And I'm sorry.
Truth be told.
bring me
I know, I guess I'm not showing up.
20 later.
Okay.
Anyway, so the budget basically for the total event right now is looking about $2,200. So that was less than we were last year. We only have one other event coming up, and that's in December, the first Saturday of December. I've already asked the town square or the management company to put it out on the calendar. That one's going to end up being about a $1,400 number for that event. Any other questions for tonight?
Are you going to put these on the website then?
They're supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I put it out several weeks ago.
On the town square.
Huh?
On the town square.
On town square. At least I asked the
And then
management
can
company
we
to
talk
do
about
it.
the Goodwin portal that we can look at? Is there a link to that on the town square?
No, that is town
That
square.
It's the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah, when you pull up that portal, it'll have
Okay.
a whole list on the left that shows like events, notices,
Okay.
messages.
Documents, history.
I think it's very
ACC
user
committee.
friendly.
It is. It's much more upfront. It's not like the old one with Real, especially trying to find our documents. They were buried.
Yeah.
This one has point blank documents, and then it lists out which ones.
Which one? Okay, moving on. Governance. I'm going to cover that down in old business under E. So move on to website and communications. Yeah, Goodwin's done a really good job of trying to get everything and put it on town square, all the information. They're really good. If I need to get something out, how many people got the memo on the pools? Okay, so that's something I sent to Goodwin to put up so that you knew. So that's the kind of thing we're doing. One thing we need to do as a board with regard to website and communications is we need to have a responsible party for each type of request. And so got a lot of pool requests, and I'm sorry I fell down, but I will take the lead on all pool requests moving forward. If we have anything on landscape, who wants to take landscape?
I can do that one with the gate and the,
With the gate code?
yeah.
Okay, so Julie's got landscape, and then you'll take anything with gate and camera. And, all right, legal. When things come in on legal, Josie, can you take care of that? I will. Okay, appreciate it. And if it comes to finances, Marta, you'll be able to handle those? Okay, and then is there anything else that comes down as requests from community that we need to
Paul, can I just clarify, legal, is that going to get the questions of replats and that type of?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And is there any other type of request?
Reservations. I guess we'll talk about that.
Well, and ACC, Mark, are you taking that on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mark's taking
so
on
Mark,
ACC.
ACC. Okay, that's it. Good.
Would that include, that's including the grounds, right? Somebody reports to you on that? Did they report to you, Mark? I'm not sure.
ACC?
Grounds.
Well, if they're planting something new or something like that, but
Okay.
no, otherwise, no.
Otherwise, no. Yeah, it would just be on an individual basis.
The reservations will be taken care of by what we're going to talk about down in under old business, I think, is where you got it. The use of pavilion by residents.
Yes.
Yeah,
it'll
once we talk about that, that'll automatically take care of that.
Yep. Yep. Okay, anything else, website and communication? Any question from y'all out there? Okay, thank you.
What about miscellaneous? Let's just add miscellaneous.
Okay, we'll add miscellaneous.
And,
I'm gonna nominate Holy for
Oh.
miscellaneous.
Sounds good.
And if it comes through and we look at it, we'll go, this goes to Holy.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do with it. to sign it.
You can always talk.
That way, each of us have an area of responsibility. Okay, 1, 3, and 5 year budgeting planning. We're in the beginning of that. We're looking at our roads, we're looking at our pools, and I'm on the early stages of looking at getting a loan so that when we go to do the roads, we can do a first class, do it right, 15-year road instead of patchwork, patchwork, patchwork. When you drive in and you're looking at communities, you know, if you've got potholes and ruts and different things, it has a negative effect on prospective buyers, other people. I got a bid for the roads to do 2.5-inch asphalt, I mean real asphalt, not chip seal, not where you spray it and put sand on top. That's chip seal. This is real asphalt, and it's in the neighborhood of $850,000 to $900,000. Wow. So I'm looking at the potential to do a loan, so I can come back to you at our next quarterly meeting and tell you the exact issues that we would like to cover with the loan, what the loan amount would be, 10-year note, what the percentages would be, and it would end up being in the neighborhood of a special assessment. So in addition to your regular fees, there'd be a special assessment for 10 years to pay the loan back. And right now I'm looking at between $450 and $500 a year more, but we could get the roads done all at once. If we decide we want to do a brand new pool and maybe shutter some of the pools or do something else with the pools, it could cover that. So I'll give you more information as it comes to me. It's a very slow process, I'm finding. You would think people that loan money would be willing to go, okay, let's go, give me this information. And no, it's like pulling teeth. And I'm sorry to report because I've been trying to work on this for over 2 months. And that's as far as I've gotten.
So are you going to look to use our assets for?
As collateral.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you need any legal on that?
That, when I get to the point where they say, okay, give me the value of your assets, then I'll come to you and Marta and...
Well, I just want to be prepared, so I'm ready to talk to Cable and I'll have the value and everything on it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Gate and Camera Committee, Julie?
Not really anything extra to report. Anybody need any remotes? I did bring another sheet. We do have them back in stock again. I do have the pool keys back in stock. We didn't have those at the last meeting that we had. Anybody have any questions regarding any of that?
I would just like to make a comment. Some person hit the kiosk on the entry side, and they went to Lowe's or Home Depot, got everything, and came back and repaired it. And it looks better than it has in years. And I want to find out who that guy is, because I'd like to hire him to do some work on my house.
His first name was Scott. I went down to take pictures so I could go back to go through the cameras and find out.
Two white guys.
And he came from.
It was two white guys. We saw him. It was early.
Get out of here. 2 white guys?
They were down.
But they both looked like hell, let me tell you, they did. And they were, you could see them, they were like looking at it like, okay, what do we do now? But they did have.
I went down and was taking the pictures, and they came back and asked who I was, and I said, well, I'm trying to, I'm taking pictures so I can look at the camera, and they go, oh, I did that going out. He did it with his cattle guard caught it, he said.
Oh, okay.
So I think he said his address was 401 Coventry. So I went back to take the pictures like Paul said, because it looks better than it did the last time. It was hit like 2 years ago. Yeah.
The truck said something construction.
Well,
So
whoever that was.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay.
Maybe there was Brian's video.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have stopped and said, hey, thank you. I mean, really, because then we could have got their name.
We figured it was behind them.
Yeah.
That's what we thought.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
But they
They
looked, they were
literally
both
fixed
looking
it
at it
within
like,
hours.
like Joe, what, they were
Studying
very,
it.
yeah, they were trying to figure
Meticulous.
out, yeah, they're trying to figure out what do we do now?
Yeah, good luck, because there was a lot of, I can show you the picture, it was a lot of small pieces that had been,
Yeah.
like I was putting them in the pile so somebody else didn't hit them, so.
So was it a homeowner or a worker?
No, it was one of the, I thought he said the address, I haven't looked it up to see the first name. He said his first name was Scott, when 401 Coventry was the address that he gave.
So that's the guy that is in the white truck, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
has the company logo.
Yes.
Right, it's a white truck
Okay,
with the company.
I'm gonna
logo.
go over and talk to
We'll
him.
find out and just say thank you. Okay, moving on. Road committee. Mark, do you have anything new?
No.
Okay, I just covered it, so, yeah.
I just got a comment, a question.
Yes.
That Kendall and Kendall, and you remember last year we cut all the trees?
Oh, yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Kendall and Kendall. Brian Thale purchased that lot. It came up for sale. Chris texted us, we saw it. I told Chris I was gonna buy it because it's next to our lot and our house.
Yeah.
Chris was like, no, no way. So I talked to Brian, and then within a few hours, he contacted our realtor, signed a contract.
That's his lot now.
Then while we were up seeing the grandkids, he had a high-end Austin company, came in for 3 days. They cut down all the oaks were dead on it. They were 3 days, they ground everything up. And then he got our reach ladder in Marble Falls, and it shows up on our survey too. And when they did his survey, the corner when you make the right turn,
Yeah,
to like go to a soup house or something,
yeah.
that corner is his property.
That's why that stakes right there.
That's why it
Run over
stakes
a
out
bunch of
there and
times. He
extends.
actually owns right up to the street.
He
No,
owns
he owns into the street like this far.
So when we're doing roads, let's not
Yeah.
pay for other
So
people's.
Brian, well, Brian was gonna get a hold, Brian's a shy man.
Yes, he is.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm encouraging him to get his land back. That's his land.
Under the
That
road,
is the community's land, that's his land
under the road.
So if they
Can
do
you
fix
talk
the
to him,
road-
and would he mind if we go back in and clean up underneath those oak trees? You remember how we cleaned that up?
Yeah.
They're starting to grow back up again already in a year.
Yeah.
I'd like to cut those down, because it's easier to get rid of them now when they're little tiny little things versus that they grow up.
What, which oak tree?
On that corner.
On that corner.
That little corner, all the little shrubs that are starting to grow back up
I think
again.
he cleared it.
No, he cleared.
No, they're right where we cleared, they're starting to grow again. You'll see, if you look at it, you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can see his house now, and I used to
Yeah,
not be
never
able
saw
to
him
see
before.
it.
Okay, anything else? All right, moving on. Approval of electronic votes. Okay, we approved to repair the deck on the Center Cove pool. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but when you go down into the pool equipment building, it's actually below pool level. And the last couple times we had some major rain, it washed it out through there. It didn't affect the pool equipment, but it took out the undermountings of the deck. So if a really heavy person were to walk across the deck right now at the Center Cove pool, they could actually go right through the deck. And so that's why the Center Cove pool is closed. Chuck, our neighbor,
Gibson.
thank you, gave us a bid. We got 3 bids. We accepted Chuck's, it's $850. He will repair it next week. So next week that'll be done. We have another bid that we got from ATX Construction to repair the retaining wall. That's not going to be until after 4th of July. So I'm going to look to organize a group of people, and let's see if we can't just fix the retaining wall ourselves and be done with it. But while I'm on approval of electronic votes, we did approve ATX. We did get 3 bids. They were the best bidder. They're, a reliable contractor. We did approve it. So I move to approve the 2 bids, one for Chuck Gibson, one for ATX to do the retaining wall, Chuck to do the deck Center Cove pool.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Nicole?
Yes, ma'am.
On the Center Cove pool, after the deck gets fixed, can we open the pool and maybe just put a caution tape around the retaining wall until it gets fixed, so we don't have to wait another 3 weeks for the pool to get
Okay. Board, what do we think? If we put the yellow caution tape, get those two railroad ties that are laying down out of the way so they're not an
Maybe that
impediment.
orange stuff that you-
Yeah, just get the stuff like a crime scene.
You gotta stop people from, you gotta worry about little kids getting over there, it's a liability. Sorry, it's gotta be fixed.
Okay.
Okay, I understand.
But I'm gonna try and organize a community group of people, and we'll just go up there, we'll buy 4 brand new railroad ties, we'll dig them out, throw the old ones away, concrete new ones, put some backing on it, and hold it up. So if anybody'd be interested in doing that, come see me after the meeting, and I got
Paul, why don't we put it out on the, on Good One?
Yep.
You know, and do a,
I'll do that. I'll do
let's
that.
pick a day, maybe next Sunday.
There might be somebody with equipment there.
That construction guy.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Okay, so what is next Sunday
What's
date?
Father's Day?
No, you can't do it on Father's
What's the
Day.
perfect day? I think we should do it.
Father's Day project.
Or Mother's Day.
There you go.
That's already getting together.
Well, how about next Saturday, the 15th?
That's
Does that work for a few people? Actually, just, get out there, dig out a couple things, drop them in.
Might not be, people might be trapped.
Because of the Father's Day. Yeah.
And Paul,
Yes.
I would like to commend Susan and Glenn. I understand they cleaned the pool equipment building down at the center.
Yes, they did.
Thank you.
And also did the steps. They told me, and went down and looked, but said they cleaned the steps up so they're not such a trip hazard anymore. So
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Maybe how about the following Sunday? I'm trying to get my phone to come up. What date's that?
21,
June 21,
Sunday's the
23.
23rd.
23.
Why don't we do it that Sunday?
Sunday, June 23. Okay, and then I'll put it out on Monday, and we'll do it at 8 o'clock in the morning to try and get as much cool weather as we can. I'll skip church that day so that we can just get it done.
I'll work with you if it's Sunday.
Okay. All right, so we'll do that. All right, next thing. Repairing pools and new pool service company. The new pool service company is called Poolie. P-O-O-L-I-E. And they do maintenance twice a week. They consider our pools commercial pools because the POA is responsible for them. So they told us mandatory 2 times a week. They wouldn't even let us do it once a week, even in the winter time. So, but they came in at the lowest bidder of all the service companies, and they're reliable, they're good. Right now, the pavilion pool has a little bit of green algae. The chemicals are killing it over time. So the pool can be used. The pavilion pool, the chemicals are in spec, so you can use the pool. As we use the pump 24/7, the green algae will be gone. Eventually, they'll be back on Tuesday if they need to shock it. They shocked it on last Tuesday to get rid of the black algae. The black algae is gone under control. So now it's just the green stuff that is going to be gone. And the next few days, and if they come in service Tuesday, they'll make sure it's gone. Hillview Pool is open. We had to pay $641 for a multi-port valve. The guy went to vacuum and he had to change the valve from filter to something else, and it just started gushing on him. And so he had to shut it down, and that's why it started turning green. And I'm sorry, but we didn't want to lose the equipment in the equipment room with it flooding and electrical issues, so we had to shut it down. But they came in on Thursday, replaced the valve. Friday, serviced the pool. The Hillview Pool is wide open and looks really good.
It does help when they use those whiteboards. To
Yes,
put their schedule.
I'm going to get the techs to start using those.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Paul, I think we should vote since we did do an electronic email on the expenditure for that valve.
Oh, yes, we did.
I vote to approve the expenditure of the valve that was used to replace the hill pool.
I second it.
Okay,
Go ahead.
you do it.
You got it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That was one of
Paul,
my.
one more comment.
Yes.
This pool right here, if we could get a brush with a pole, then we as homeowners can try to keep that yellow algae down. When we go up here, we can brush the pool
Okay.
before we use it. So if we have a brush up here on a pole, we can
We have one for each pool.
Okay.
Yeah, this
We
one
should
part
have
of
one
it
for
is
each.
Should.
So, should we vote on or let's vote on getting brushes then for each
Yes.
Well,
three pools?
before we do that, Josie, the other thing we need to do is to see if Godwin can get its new signage at these pools.
Godwin?
I
Good
didn't say
one.
Godwin, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Good one. I had a Godwin in that time. A good one, that part is getting the signage fixed on all these pools, the rules, we need to have new ones.
So we're
And we
gonna,
also need to get their reels management contact number of the buildings.
okay.
Yes.
So signs and brushes. is
Yeah,
what I'm
signs
hearing.
and brushes.
Yeah, the signs with the appropriate information.
Yeah, the
Okay.
right information.
And so are we gonna just arbitrarily do it?
Yes, vote on it right now.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion to get the brushes and the signage updated
I second.
For all three pools.
for all three pools.
And Mark's, okay. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Who's going to be responsible?
I don't know about that, it usually goes
I'll
into
take it up with Melissa.
Okay, and
People won't pay out.
I'll do the brushes
Okay.
because I took responsibility for the pools.
Okay, so you're gonna,
I'll buy the brushes and Julie's going to talk to Melissa about the signage.
Yeah.
On the pool issue, I mean, I know there's a lot of repairs that need to be done on all the pools, but in that pump house over there on the hill, are there tiles that, the ones that fell off of
They
the
broke.
water spill?
They broke.
They broke.
We threw them away.
So there's not any extras anywhere?
No, we're going to ask the new pool company, now that we have the pool company, I'll get the supervisor to come out. It's pretty simple to match the
Right.
tile, and we'll just get a bid because they do service and repair. They do both. So this week I'll get the supervisor to come out, give us a bid, and then we can move forward.
FYI, Paul did fix a few of them here. So.
thank you, Paul, thank you.
Well, remember how the coping came loose? I just,
He did that.
to me, summer is here and we can't wait and pay somebody to fit. I went and got mastic that is bonding concrete to concrete, waited the 3 days for it to cure, and by God, it's solid, and opened the pool. And then 2 days later, that's when the valve broke, and it's like, can't win for losing.
The pools are old, and
So that's another issue with regard to repairing pools, new pools service company. Just a straw vote. How many people would be in favor of using some of the land over here to do one commercial size pool?
For what?
Instead of having 3 small pools, having
one big
one pool, because the restrooms are here.
Yeah.
The other 2 pools do not have restrooms. So just straw vote. I'm gonna have to do more formal things in order to make that kind of commitment. But just a straw vote. How many people would be willing to see a brand new pool? Okay. So not a majority yet. Okay. That's what I needed to ask. Okay. Yeah. Entrance gate, we already took care of that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Lawsuit update?
So I actually did a couple of things. I sent the legal person that's representing us some documentation on the construction workers using our resident electricity. They were plugged in.
Yeah.
So they quickly reversed and they've taken off 2 of the 5 that they had input onto the lawsuit. Still working on that. I will tell you that at this point I would like to assess any kind of fees that we come up with, because we are actually, per the bylaws, able to do that. For anybody who has not requesting extensions. And the extensions, the builder, he's just a car wash guy who wants to come in and build homes and, finish it at his convenience. So I'm gonna actually make a motion at some point to assess fees for him not requesting extensions. And also cease and desist order in the fact that he is not going to build until we resolve this lawsuit. Because I'm not going to give this guy some leeway. I think this is the time, and we have the leverage to do it at this point so that we can kind of nip this in the bud now instead of him going down the road, building another house, including that in the lawsuit, because originally this lawsuit was basically 2 homes. For whatever reason, all of a sudden it got to 5 homes. And why? I don't know. These houses that he's been building, he's been saying that, it's somebody's fault. Well, I'm sorry, but we've had builders in here that have completed construction within the time frame. And for him to just arbitrarily say whatever he wants to say, to do a lawsuit, I'm not going to buy it. I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel that it is not to our advantage to sit on something and just arbitrarily say, yeah, okay, no worries. It doesn't work.
So I'd like to make a motion that we should find him.
Okay.
Whatever legal action we need to, because he never applied for
Extensions.
Never.
Never.
Okay.
And while we're on the subject, all people, I don't know if you're going to get to it, Paul, where or when on the, cleaning up of all the properties. But all his properties along the main road there, all those trees are overhanging, and I'm not going to cut any trees on his property down for him. I think he needs to be fined. If we're going to get into this about the notices that we send out to everybody about cleaning up their lots. I mean, he hasn't done a damn thing ever to any of his lots. And now the school bus driver, I talked to her the other day and talked to her, and I said, are you happy with what we've done cutting some of the trees back, down Coventry, down along the water and all that? She goes, yeah, but you're still missing a bunch up here, when you turn the corner right up here and go down Coventry towards the loop and all that. There's a bunch of trees that are overhanging, oak trees that are overhanging. And they should be, a lot of those, I think, the majority of the whole strip are all on Hunter Elder's properties.
Okay.
So I think he needs to be sent a, fine for that, hearing to our request.
And Mark, can you give me some ideas to where that's at? You're saying Coventry and Coventry, or?
Yeah, I'll get you that.
Okay.
I'll show you. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a motion out there. Any second to fine?
I second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Anything else?
Well, so we looked at some point, I don't think it's stated, does he mention in the documents an actual amount that's charged for when an extension isn't?
It doesn't have an exact amount, so I think that we need, as a board, to come up with what's,
appropriate.
An appropriate amount.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it may not just be him, it could be another builder out in the future.
Instead of a flat fee, it graduates with the amount of time that it's overextended.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Compounding effect.
So.
Well, Mark, you correct me though, because I'm going to go back to when I did my original build. Is it really normal in today's world that a new house built in, we'll say 2,500, 2,500 square foot can be done in 8 months?
Yeah. I mean, but also if you should request an extension. That's what it says in our articles and our bylaws.
Absolutely.
So that's never been done. So
Yeah.
anybody can request an extension for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And we're most likely going to approve it because we're a reasonable request.
Yeah.
And then it needs to be maintained safety-wise, because he had those,
Yeah,
they were doing
I
that
screwed
wrong.
up. I screwed up. On the house by you that you're building, Teswick on the corner of Teswick there. He had it, the stone guys came in.
They had that
They put up
scaffolding.
scaffolding, they put up a little bit of stone, then they stacked probably 10,000 pounds worth of stone on top
And it
of
was
it.
like
That
that
was
for weeks.
3.5 weeks.
And
So I
nobody
took
was working on
pictures and I texted it to Elder. Pleasant. I said, Chris, I said, this is your house, blah, 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 whatever that address is. I said, we have some rambunctious teenagers in this neighborhood now. I said, this could kill somebody.
So I would appreciate it if you guys would send me the pics on this, and the reason why is because the reason why Elder actually took out 2 of those houses was because I got a video of Elder's work guys actually plugging into a residential Mickey Bertino's property. And I sent it to our attorney and I said,
They use people's daughters.
yeah, and so if you see it, just snap a pic, because, you know, the more information we have, the greater the way that we're gonna just have this guy, and he's gonna just, hopefully, at one point, there's the road.
I didn't realize his thought process. I mean, no, if I texted him, we're long out of warranty on our house. But I still think I could text him if something major went wrong, at least ask him a question about something.
Yeah.
So I didn't know his mentality is F everybody. I don't care if somebody gets killed here. Because that sat there for 3.5 weeks, those stones on top of this apple.
Right by the bus stop, it's where the bus stops, like you got the kids in the tennis store.
Just said for a bit historical, I sent a stop and desist when he was building over next to Alan's house. Because that house, he was building, when the original was approved, he was approaching the setbacks, the 5-foot setbacks. And he was right encroaching on his neighbor, so not only that, but I said, stop and desist, you need to come out, have a surveyor come out, stake your corners to make sure you are building where you proposed where you were gonna be building. He basically told me to go F myself. And I also stated liability, because there was nails in the roads. I would drive by there every day, there'd be nails in the road, garbage all over the place. You know, the young kids next door had young kids, and the kids had to go over there to get hurt, and he had no consideration, no nothing. He just told me to go after myself.
And I can attest to that because I went out to take pictures of these houses that are incomplete, and I got a flat tire the next day.
And in his lawsuit, he says, in order to be a good neighbor.
Good neighbor, yeah.
That's in the lawsuit. In order to be a good neighbor, he is suing us.
And is he, so instead of having real dumpsters, that thing he
No.
does with the plywood, is that?
Okay, we could be here all day. So, anything else?
As far as plat maps are concerned, it's my understanding once, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to get some clarity on from Tegel on this, but I honestly don't think that you can unplat a replat of separate.
That's down below. Okay. Okay. So anything else on the lawsuit? Okay.
No.
Okay. Term length of board of directors.
I passed out it was a ballot that was proposed back in the year that I was on the board, so it went through attorney. So what we need to do as an association, this has been brought up many times, but I'm trying to help you all understand, and we're all going to have to develop probably a call committee if we want to go down this road. The Articles of Incorporation takes 75% of this community to say yes to make a change. The articles currently read, the affairs of the association shall be managed by a board of directors who need not be members of the association. I don't know if you ever realized that. So we wanted to take out the not.
The not.
And then on down, it goes, all directors shall serve for a term of 1 year or until heir successors are elected and qualified. We want to take out that whole line, because by doing that, then what was done in our bylaws, I can find that in a minute.
That's okay.
What was done in our bylaws, then it'll kick in so that we can get back to a 2-year board, which was done back in 91, but obviously when they made that change in 91, they didn't pay attention to what was in the articles.
Yeah.
So I would like to propose, I mean, I've talked to my social committee, anybody else that wants to help as far as the committee to work on calls to make everybody aware, but we can, I've talked to the management company, we can actually put this out for an electronic vote.
Okay.
That way we know all the people that don't live here or not here all the time are aware, but we need to do that outreach to make them aware. We need a yes on this. I don't see any reason why anybody here would want to say no. Anybody, by what I just read?
Any further clarification?
Yes, I do need clarification. So it goes to a 2-year term, but it's not taking the board down to 5.
That would have to be changed down in the bylaws. The things regarding the board need to be in the bylaws, not in the articles.
So it's my understanding that we can take this board down to 5 on a vote, the board.
If the bylaws takes a percentage of the membership at a meeting.
For the term, but not the 5 taking it down to 5.
A bylaw change can be done by the membership that's in a quorum of the meeting that attends. So you get this done first,
Yeah.
and then by the December meeting, we could do the bylaw change to take us down to 5.
So it's a quorum of the members that are actually
Yes.
present.
And since we have 300 and some homes, it would have to be 35 in this group of the members would have to say yes.
So we would have to call and get 35 members here.
So anybody that wants to be part of the committee?
I'm sorry, Greg, did you have
couples or one vote?
If you were to take a vote now,
Yeah.
there may be whatever 20
You wouldn't
people
have 35.
here, but
There's a little
Tigger and I
couple.
only can count as one vote.
Yeah, there's
That's
little
right.
couples.
Yeah.
So again, for that particular time we get ready to do that, we'd have to do an outreach and say, hey, this is an important meeting, please try to be here. This is what we're trying to accomplish.
So that would be at our next meeting.
The next meeting, we need to look at doing the articles. We gotta get the articles done first, then we do the bylaws in December.
Yeah.
Right, Paul?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
I guess I discussed before making a motion.
No, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's okay. So I make a motion that we move forward in trying to change the articles of incorporation, what I just mentioned,
For the next meeting.
or to vote on by the September, I don't know, we have a date.
Yeah.
We have a date, third.
And you can't do that at the same time, or you just feel it's too,
I think we need to do a step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. It'll
I kind of
be
learned the hard way on that.
September 14th.
September 14th.
The 14th, yeah.
Yep. So that would make sure that the directors are members of the association and that board of directors would have a 2-year term. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Violation notices, we discussed some of those. We asked Goodwin to take a little hiatus on the violation notices, and we're trying to get squared away so that when the young lady who drives through has a more accurate electronic mapping, so that when she says and sends out a letter designating a property, it goes to the appropriate owner of that property. So that's where we are with that.
It's all.
Yes?
In today's technology, I don't understand why Goodwin doesn't have, she can't go on everybody can go on the CAD system, Burnett CAD system. And you can go there as she's driving, she can go and log onto that, and she can be in front of the property, and she can cross-reference where she is and see who the legal owner is and where it needs to be sent to.
I sent her a
And
map of Windermere.
I told her that too, twice, and I don't understand why she doesn't
And Vicky and I allowed her
understand.
to exit her vehicle while she's doing it because she stopped and waved us over and asked us what an address was.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, there's a few houses, I can kind of testify to this part, because when Nikki and I once went through this whole subdivision of where houses were, where lots were, to figure out what we had for a count. And we do have several houses out there that do not have house numbers on them.
yeah. But anyway, Mark, I'll make sure Desiree does that.
Yeah, I mean, she needs internet service, she can log on to the CAD system when she's driving around, and she can, common sense, you can see what street you're on and count how many houses are down on that street. And
Well,
see
I
who
have a
lo-
plat map that I gave her. I gave her a plat
You
map.
do?
Yes, with the numbers on it.
Okay, well, I'll work with her. Okay.
So on this violation notice,
Yes, ma'am.
what are we doing on the ACs, the viewing of them? Because when I built my house, that wasn't in the ACC.
It wasn't in the ACC.
I have them.
We have to look at dates to find out where do we grandfather people.
Well, let me ask the community a question. How do you all feel about that? Do we feel that we should have everybody have a screen around, be it a shrub or a fence or a little stone wall around their AC units? You don't have to see it?
No.
I don't think you can go back and.
Well, I'm just asking
something
what
like
the
that.
feeling is, but because, we came up with that because a lot of communities do screen their units. It's like, if you buy our AC apartments, it's supposed to be, if you have a propane tank, it's supposed to be buried underground. If for some reason you couldn't do that, for whatever reason, maybe it might be, that you have to put a fence around it or some sort of thing. That's what you do, but so we were just trying to make everything kind of more uniform, more commonly for everybody to be the same, that's all.
But if it doesn't bother y'all, why have it in the ACC guidelines? So, go ahead.
I've noticed rental properties not mowing their yard in the last couple of years, and they also pile brush on the property line when we had all that freezing weather and everything, and limbs broke or whatever. They didn't take it away, they just piled it on it looks like the neighbor's yard, or neighbor's lot, somebody else's lot. It's never been taken care of. Since then, I think that's been sold like twice.
Let me know which property that is, and I'll get it to Goodwin so they can.
And also, when they rent that property, for some reason, they turn the outside lights on and then they leave, and it might be that way for a month. So it's shining right in Dolly's house,
Yeah.
and how do you get a hold of anybody to turn that on?
Yeah. Okay. Well, give me the info on
Okay,
the
I will.
address. And,
So
I'll see
what are we
I can
gonna, are we gonna
Screen or not
talk
screen?
about the AC?
And how many people really don't care if the AC unit is not screened from view?
And also, does that apply to people who are installing generators now? Because a lot of people
Yes.
have equipment. Yes.
The generators need to be screened.
Have to be screened.
Yeah.
Also, it stops noise too.
But while I'm updating the ACC guidelines, I'll take that out.
No, I think generators.
Not generators, the
The
AC.
screening of AC, HVAC.
You might consider, I'm sorry I came in late, you might consider that they, as I think previously stated, that they not be on the front, but instead on the side of the home.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, and whether it's screened or not, I mean, so many are not at this point. So the main thing being that it's not right up front.
Not right up front. Okay, so I'm revising the ACC guidelines, so you gave me something else.
So how about rainwater tanks?
Those should be screened.
Those have to be screened.
I know I had to screen mine, but when at the time that I was putting them in, they said some of the people's were grandfathered in, they were done a long time ago, so.
Yeah, going forward.
Yeah, going forward.
What about a deer feeder in your front yard?
Not acceptable, not acceptable. I'm glad you actually said that.
Is the violation out on that? To have it removed?
We are going to.
Okay. Thank you. All right, anything else? All right, moving on. Use of pavilion by residents. Goodwin through Town Square has the capability of keeping a calendar and allowing people to go on Town Square and reserve the pavilion. And at the last meeting, we approved $75, and it's not a deposit, it is a fee. Because we pay the people to come and clean the bathrooms to make sure it's nice and fresh and ready for when somebody uses it. So we're going to have that turned on this coming week. So we'll have a calendar. It'll be a $75 fee to Windermere Oaks POA. And so just to let you know that that's a feature on Town Square.
Are they going to change the wording in the, I was reading something on one of their but the bylaws or whatever, and it said that anybody that lives here or is renting here has the right to use all the facilities. Didn't say anything about a fee or anything, so that needs to be changed.
That'll be changed. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's always been a deposit as long as I've been here. One of the things I think about charging a fee for cleanup is you take away the incentive for people to clean up after themselves. And we'll see how it works out.
It must be left in the state that
You find it.
in on.
Yeah, and the fee is to, for our ladies that come and clean the bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's not to empty trash or clean up afterwards. They don't clean up this area. All they do is the bathrooms. And so the fee is so that when you arrive and your guests arrive, you have clean bathrooms. And then they will come back, because you use bathrooms, you got kids, you got whatever. Not everybody hits their target. It's just a fact of life. So, yeah, it is just for the restroom cleaning.
So let's clarify that. Is that weekly that they're coming to do this?
Yes, right now they are.
Yeah, in the summertime they do.
Yeah, they're from now until the end of August. they come.
And the bathrooms are open?
Yeah.
Yeah. The locks aren't, the codes don't work anymore, so they're taken down to, just make sure if you use the restrooms, don't leave the door hanging open when you're done. Make sure it's closed. Helps keep the insects and others out.
Okay.
So for renters, then you might consider two things. One, charge the cleaning or the fee for make sure that everything's clean when they get it. And two, say that there will be a deposit to be returned once they have completed everything in a clean manner.
So you're saying instead of a fee,
just a fee.
Deposit.
Well, she's saying
talking about
both.
Oh, and a deposit?
Yeah, because Soup's comment is valid because and I've read about VRBOs where people are leaving things in a terrible condition because they're charged a $400 cleaning fee. So they decide that, we don't have to clean up anything. So charge the fee specifically for the bathrooms, that it's in a clean, nice condition.
Right.
And then also say, by the way, we also have a deposit of $200, which is refunded to you, just like
Let me see how that flies with Goodwin, and then we'll let you know. We'll do electronic.
Whatever is practical, but
And it's a difficult thing to do.
It's very difficult.
It's hard enough to get reoccurring vendors paid, much less, on a timely manner, much less, somebody wants to use it, try to get a check written, the time, the money, you might want to charge us a fee for doing that. So, I just think we leave it at $75 usage fee.
And then we put language that grounds must be clean.
And then we can have somebody that's, somebody dedicated on the board or, somebody in one of the committees to come in and check to make sure after that event that they cleaned up after themselves, so it's not going to get a phone call from the board or something like that, or a letter from the management company. You didn't do your due diligence, we're going to charge you an assessment for not doing the cleanup.
Okay, Julie, you had a motion?
Well, before I do that, we have one coming up on the 15th, so back to your point, when I answered them to say this is the fee that they're going to need to pay, I agree it should be listed as a usage fee instead of a cleaning fee, because that's exactly what Sue said was exactly what I thought, and what Carol said, because I thought, okay, what's going to keep, if you say cleaning, what's going to keep them from not picking up and putting the garbage? When I answered them back, I said, and you're expected to put the garbage and put everything back up, to how you found it.
Well, and you'll describe that in the agreement, I'm assuming, so.
Yeah, well, we don't have one out there.
That's what we're.
So I want to make a motion that we open up the reservation tab on Town Square.
Yep.
And then Melissa's supposed to send a copy of agreements that we can look at that the person signs.
Yep.
To agree to, which we can make sure that's mentioned.
The language is in there.
The language is in.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, we have two items, H&I replats. I'm going to send those down into executive session so that we make sure that anything that happens confidentially stays confidential. So I am just going to move those items down to executive session, so we will have executive session. Down to new business, ACC updated regulations. We already talked about that earlier, the $35 fee. So don't have to worry about that. We already talked about the violation notices. That was back up in old business. Social.
Paul, on that, we need to vote on that.
Oh, yes.
You need to sign off on that, so I have that here.
Oh,
The $35 fee?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the only reason that you were changing it, Paul? The AC, well, you merged things together.
I merged A, B, C, D, E in together. Yeah.
As I mentioned one-on-one, and I'll mention it again, the piece that's in this ACC guidelines that talks about fencing is totally out of date. It's out of date because the state law 3 years ago, we talked about this when I was on the board, basically you can build your height of your fence as long as it goes through ACC that you let them know that you're building it. But it can be to your property line, it can be the height that what you determine is to protect your property. So we really need to look at rewording that paragraph because somebody new coming in, which we've had some new people looking at buying property.
Right.
That was one of the questions they had. They were given our restrictions by their broker, whatever, their agent. And then they come back and ask that question. And so they don't know any better that, hey, the state law came in and overrode what we actually have. And what we have in the ACC comes from our CRRs, our restrictions.
Yep.
But the state overrides all of that when they come in and make changes.
So we want
it's
to
an
change it
agent.
to comply with state laws.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in our
Yeah, but don't you need
CCRs.
3/4 of the community to vote on that, to change that?
For
No,
the
it's-
state
no,
law.
State law.
Well, no, that supersedes it, right, but the change.
We can't change it
You
even
can't
though.
change
Yeah.
we can't change it.
Yeah. So.
So you get 3/4 of the
Well,
vote.
can you put in the
But the state law supersedes it, so it doesn't.
Right, that's what I would put in.
You
Yeah,
can
you
put
put a
it, you
special
can put
note.
it that way when you said, when we look at doing that paragraph for the state law, which is overrides our CCRs, this is what the law,
Should we attach that to our CCRs or whatever, or just amend it that way by
Oh,
just attaching
CYA,
the state law, FYI?
CYA.
Yeah.
That'll be a smart
Well,
thing to do.
they changed it about having chickens too.
Yep.
And it says that in our, I don't remember where that is.
But that's city limits, is it not? It's not, it
I don't remember reading
apply
that
to
around here.
all properties associations, does it?
Yeah, it says no livestock.
Right.
No chickens, no.
Well, that's in our bylaw, that's in our ACC, or not ACC.
Okay, Sue, you had a comment?
No, I got a question. Where's the state law that you're citing that says you can't stop people from building fences? Is it in the revised Texas property code?
Say again? Sorry.
Where is that located, Julie?
It's under, well, I haven't seen where they put it in the actual Texas property code. I'm going back to when I was on the board 3 years ago when the law was changed at that point. Plus Melissa, the management company, tells me there was another set of laws changed this last September. She still hasn't updated with, and that affects the short-term rental issue that we had 3 years ago too.
So should we have her upload into our town square?
The state law changes, that
Yes.
would be a good idea.
Yeah, for everybody to see.
That way you can review at your convenience.
I'm wondering if they can build any kind of fence they want. Does that mean we're liable to
No,
start
we're-
getting these 6-foot cedar privacy fences?
No, it doesn't say
We're
any type of
we're
fence,
still
but
allowed to designate the type of material. We're just not allowed to designate that it can't go beyond the front of the house and it has to stay within the 5-foot setbacks. That's how our stuff reads. We can go
Right.
to the property lines and basically the height,
That's good.
okay?
We're, you know-
But we can designate the type of material.
Yeah.
When we first moved here, I was just taught that we couldn't have a cedar fence like we had everywhere else because I had a dog. But now, having been here for 20 years, that would be terrible to have 6-foot privacy fences go up every year. Because if you stand here and feel this breeze,
Yep.
you won't. Everybody has a 6-foot privacy fence.
Okay, thanks.
So, Paul, getting back to what
Yeah, let's go.
We need to amend this, so I have this, I have 2 copies, one for you to sign, both to sign, maybe give one to Ole, so you can have it for the record. whatever.
Okay.
So you have to, this is what you signed originally.
Yeah, I've already had it.
Yeah.
That you signed originally, and dated it, but now we need to check that and that.
Okay.
Cross that out. I don't know if we just want to do a whole new one,
Let's do a whole new one.
because I have those 2.
Yeah, let's just do a whole one. by homeowner?
Yeah, paid by homeowner.
Are you putting the amount in here?
No, it's up here.
Oh, gotcha.
You want me to take care of that, send it out to her? So I made a motion, anybody want a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
All in favor? Can we ask a question?
Aye.
Can I ask a question on that ABC deal? Okay, where do roofs fall in? Like, let's say you want to change your roof from composition shingle to metal roof, where does that fall in that?
That'll be in C.
That would be a C?
And see, if you're changing the material, then we need to get the storyboard so you would show what the new roof would look like. So we'd have, yeah, you cut us a little, if you go to metal, you know, you just get a little piece of it and stick it on the storyboard. But it would still only be the $35 fee. Yeah. So thank you. Okay, that's all of our new business. Social gathering tonight, 6 o'clock right here. What time are you setting up?
We're starting at 6. I'd like to ask anybody that's here today if you would help us. We're going to do some of the initial moving the chairs, the tables, and setting up the canopies. So we'd appreciate anybody's help after the meeting to be able to do that.
Okay. It is 10:24. Let's adjourn into executive session.
Before everybody leaves, I'd like to add that if you're walking your dog on a leash and everything, be aware of the deer around because the deer will attack your dog if they get the predator.
Okay.
It's happened to the lady across the street.
Yeah, mamas are protecting their babies.
They'll kill your dog if they get a chance. So they will. I see a lot of people putting earbuds in, have a dog on leash.
Brian, did you have a comment?
You want to do comments at all?
Oh, was there anybody who had comments?
Okay, so did you
Hold
miss
on a
the
second.
open forum part?
Hold on.
Did I miss the open forum?
Yeah, that's what he did. He forgot to do it.
I skipped over it unintentionally.
Can I make one thing? Okay?
Absolutely.
It has to do with the drought that we're in.
Yes.
Okay. So we all know how serious that is.
Yep.
In our home, our water heater, for example, is on the opposite side of the house to the shower. So we have buckets in our shower, and we catch the water until it gets warm at the point of use, right? I also keep 2 sets of clothes, if you believe it, that sort of hang out there until they're really, really dirty to be washed, and so you might want to stand upwind of me. But the reason I bring this up is just to point out that we're sensitive about the situation. But I do have a motorcycle, and I like to keep it clean. And so what I'm suggesting and asking, I also water my lawn, and I've changed everything over so that it only goes 10 minutes per zone, right?
Once a week, right?
I would like to exchange 1 week worth of that's a lot of water, for 10 minutes to wash my motorcycle.
Without getting turned in.
Well, I mean, anybody can complain about it, but I would like to get a sense of the board. It seems like a reasonable thing to do, but
I think that's a water board issue, and so
you know,
we're
that's not a
not.
bad point. But who, yeah, right, so who gets, who enforces that? That's a good point.
That would be your board.
Okay, good, I'll take care of that.
Good one.
I'll take care of that. Thank you very
But
much.
thank you for all the suggestions. Yeah, my wife and I, we have 2 buckets in different parts of the house.
We water the plants outside.
Yeah, exactly. And you wait for the water to get hot, and then you go dump the bucket.
And I do have rain barrels, so I'll be turning in for water my yard.
There's 7 gallons a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody Paul, Rose?
Sit over on the bench.
Are you Rose? Okay, I'm sorry.
I did bring up the Andy issue. I'm gonna bring up one thing, and it's
Okay, quiet please, quiet.
the boat ramp. And I know we don't have water now, but one of these days when we get rain, we will not be able to use that boat ramp because of the the overgrown vegetation. And I know that's a huge thing, but we need to kind of think about it.
I'll take that up because I'm going to be working with the mowing company on common areas. Is it in what you would know as the common area, Rose?
Probably deeper.
Okay. Oh, it's down at the end of the road.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the way out.
All the way out. Okay, let's go into executive session. Let's just go here in the shade.
Okay, we're gonna go walk through the they're gonna go make
I was going to say,
we've never seen it out of the box.
This last week that we did, this year we you have owls in your property? Are they in the front of the brings their Where are they getting? Are they attached to your house or where are they attached to a tree? And there's specifications of how high you should go, where the opening is, and the dimension. So you have a house.
It's kind of silly to walk around.
The people that live there literally has to generate and she does. And they have, that's really back of their house, and they have outlets, and they've been there for ever since we've been there.
They tend to stay in the same area, and they're wander out. Some years we see them, some years we don't see them, but they're very secretive. So you have to know what to look for. Because if they're standing on a branch, they totally blend in.
Yes.
Really, yes. So we did a big reach out.
Are they little, like little thin? Yes.
They probably
Yeah. So I think that's what people, a lot of screenshots. That was hard. They don't do it. Yeah, I don't know if that's the kind of owl that.
There's a little video, I know there's giant owls here too. One time we come this driving to the like, here, it's a, if we ever get an opportunity, right,
one like Windermere Street where those big oaks. Right to our headlights. The big oak. Yeah. And you heard the loud ones. Obviously went outside on the patio and I go out.
We'll tell them I want to see.
Then I could hear them far away. That's why they were like, oh, yeah, that's what they were doing.
Julie said we could go ahead and start putting the tables up.
Are they out already?
No, she said we could get the tables and start, we could start. But we can start, and she said she can start doing it that way.
Because they're putting up where the
Tarp over there. She said, yeah, so we're doing
That sounds great. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. Take my Yeah, I'm in and out, you know, and actually,
So we have this big red that's on our fireplace, you know, some of them.
oh yeah.
He was out there for, we just sat on that thing like over an hour.
For example, all of this stuff in the, all of a sudden in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we want to get rid of that.
How long did it take you to do the lights this week?
Not that long, because we were like,
Tables are easy, right?
Yeah, they're putting the chairs out. And so.
oh
Even though they have almost I would have said that. There is another one.
We're probably going to start at 5 o'clock. Where the shade is. Like, just one out there. Yeah, just we can get them grow. Sorry, I just give it down.
HR say, supposed to do this work in 14 days or 12 days. That leaves 3 days as administrative before you do it. And I said, no, my due date is 3 days later. I can't have to work for administrative. I asked the government. You know, so anyways, I have that. So this, and this is the wrong one. Case done. I'm done.
I missed your name when you were talking earlier. Oh, right. Right, I mean, you're right here with the. Okay.
Share with the family. That's right, it's a fun family.
Well, there you go.
Jet, right? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, they can describe what you want them to send a picture. And this is our state, it's a day. So anyway. Well, come it should a glass of wine with the friends too. Yeah. I mean, it should stay on the she was today. I'm like, where are you? Essentially, yeah. Yeah, that's fine for a bit for but then, like I said, just things like this. It's been a so that's she's at Marble Falls. Yeah, that's not too far away. But, you know, so we went through the whole roads. Yes, we do. And then we'll go from there.
After that. Can we take some of those out, do you think?
And then I'll come and then so then don't use the car.
She said it starts at 6. So he's going to
So anyway, we're just solving
You taking all of those, Susan? I don't think we need them. Maybe they need them, I'm not sure, but I don't think we need these anymore. All right. Make us work, Susan. For executive session. Yeah. I'm gonna go put this.
one. Yeah, I passed it, yay. But now I'm studying for another one, so it's been.
Well, I guess that's for a session when they'll come back after executive session if they want to continue the meeting. So I guess we'll leave their chairs for the meeting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, they're
These
not,
guys.
when they're done the executive, they come back.
Yeah.
Finish the meeting.
Here's our seats right here.
Yeah, we'll stand.
Oh, I hope so. How you doing today?
I'm pretty well. How are you? How's your day been?
Good.
Did your kids come back today, or
They did. They did. They sent us a bunch of pictures from SeaWorld. It looked like so much fun. It looked so much fun. They had a great time. Yeah, I think we're going to go over to the Hilltop Pool this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
For a little while.
It'll be good to be in the hilltop.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than it did. So are you home now? I saw like 2 or 3 days ago.
I haven't seen it since we went there on Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, it looked okay that weekend, but it looks almost back to normal now.
Chris, how many days a week are you still working?
Usually I just work Sundays when we're here, but I'm PRN, so if we're going like next weekend, we have to go up to Illinois for our nephew's wedding and come back. We were up there for almost 3 weeks in May because we had a baptism, and we're like, well, if we're driving up there, we might as well stay for the next kids' music thing and the next kids' choral thing. And oh yeah.
And then you got reciprocity for Texas?
No, Illinois does not have that.
So you had to
It's Illinois. No,
Oh, no, I think
I had
that's
to
more than
apply
four
for my
weeks.
Texas
Yeah,
license
I think it's
based
much
on.
more. 'Cause
I
ours
had to
are
like give them the information of when I took my boards and what my nursing school was and all that ancient 30-year-old stuff.
Wow.
To Texas, and then now I have reciprocity for whatever it is, 40-something. No.
California has.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think.
Do you remember,
Illinois is like one of the.
So I clicked the box.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna retire then. It started getting me. I'm like I've got my like figured out what my be like at the highest of my Social Security. Then unless I work like another 15 years, I'm not gonna really boost it up anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah.
The end of June.
Yeah, Did you work full time?
Sometimes. Sometimes I had 2 jobs
Busy and.
because I wanted to work days, and the only day job I could get was part-time. There was a time when I had 2 part-time jobs, like double holidays, double weekends.
Want to go away because I don't know what's going to pop.
You got 3 kids in college. Yeah, I went full-time. And then when a full-time position opened up at one of them, then I stayed there.
So.
Well, I worked full time since
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, I had 2005.
I didn't have my license till 94. I wasn't a nurse till 94, so I'm just like 30 years this year. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I got work this spring. I got knee replacement, and then that did work, and then I had to do that manipulation under anesthesia thing. So I'm just now getting out and doing stuff, but I love working in
But, and I think about that.
They have people who do callbacks and stuff. Like Ken just had a call.
We've been so blessed with all
But
the
it was the nurse in the procedure center that discharged him that did the callbacks.
That's what I used to do. When I worked, I did when I was the final years of my working. I started working.
I've been excited
Coverage. I just haven't working post-op water and I had to do. You had to call back like the next day.
That must be the way it is there. Yeah. It was in Lakewood.
And so you do that. But then there's when I was in emergency, telephone triage.
Anyway, I haven't put anything out, but
I need to water think about really strongly to position.
Oh, yes, they're beautiful. Yes, we have 3 different ones that I've been using.
Trauma center, this hospital.
Yeah, I'm a birder. I love birds.
For you to watch now.
First thing I like to
That's
do is
causing lots of pain, and now it's weeping. Yeah, it sounds gross. But
and I never thought about it. I was talking on the phone with somebody one time, and they go, "Where are you?"
I used to
go
do
in
the
my yard. And she goes, "Oh, I could just hear birds going
years
nuts."
ago
And I
they
said,
had
"Yep, that's where I live."
they appointed like
They're happy.
committee members or something like that to sit and do the callbacks, and it was extra hours to come in and do the callbacks. But I don't think that was a good idea because you really didn't have any information on the patient, and they would always ask a question. So having the discharge nurse do it makes a lot more sense.
right, because you saw the incision.
We had
Yeah.
You knew what they looked like.
Yeah. When I had one time they threw me into just like call everybody who's been discharged for the last 2 weeks, and you can come and do it 4 hours a week or whatever. things. Just opened up a can of worms more than I would have to send information to other people to call them back. So I thought that was
You know, I just did this. So she was laying
and then they'll say, well, that's not what the last person told me.
You didn't get this?
Yeah, the media.
And then pretty soon she had another.
I just thought it just because to have your own ad money, but you'll never.
They were so far away that we didn't want to scare her, so we didn't video, you know, because she.
So that's a big deterrent. I was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I got the paycheck this week. You got a good paycheck. I said,
Double pay on the whole
time and a half. And then the last 4 hours of every shift, now that you do 12s, the last 4 hours, you get like another $5 an hour.
Like I could make and that's take that's
I bet that's like a 12-hour shift.
I would make at least
There's a lot of nutrition.
and then it was like this. Regular pages coming in, signing in, doing my job.
You're not going to get that.
Wow. I was in the wrong business.
And I said, well, that's why I said register.
But in California, we have unions and the pension. No real pension. When I get to him, he always says, well, that's nurse's fault because they don't have a union. Because he was always
Well, now we don't have it. We don't have it.
They dissolved it.
Yeah, they realized it.
There's too much money.
Well, there's, okay, so a friend of mine worked in the city
All
of
the
Stockton.
houses,
And
Barry's wasn't
her
there,
husband, he
Brian
was a
wasn't
lawyer
there.
who was like, he wasn't, he was just like one of them that worked in
The old gray house next to
for the city. He was a lawyer for the city.
And there was Pat's.
So guess what happened to his pension?
And I kept saying,
And he just
take it away to do, Pat. Take what building?
Nothing, nothing. But after years of the city Stockton, and when they went, they went belly up as a city, bankrupt, all the people that were on pensions and whatever. And that's that pension? Right, so that's what they were threatening, that because I was part of the UC region. So the UC is huge, like UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Berkeley, UC Sacramento. I mean, all of them. It is massive. And when we had this huge bank that we've been putting money, this is our return. Somebody, there's a big pension there that's rolling in, but this is nothing really contributing. So when Governor Schwarzenegger was our governor, he saw that there were donations from UC regions count for all the people that work at UC from across the whole state. So that's right. You know what I mean? Tap that, and I'll give you a loan,
Right.
and I'll give you interest. And we're like, we are not going to touch that. We thought, well,
That's what they're doing in Chicago. They're trying for teachers union.
yeah, because you put into it, and it's a nice little nest egg.
Right.
But this is for the whole state. This is what the last
And they're like limiting new hires to, yes, a lot of school districts, new hires aren't going to get a pension, even though you might be working with somebody that's been there for 20 years, that they're going to get one and you're a new hire.
Exactly. So when I started my like late 1970s, when I was close to the end of 2020, I showed the new nurses that were hired. Whoa. I said, you guys, you're right. We're almost 40 years old. What are you going to look like in 40 years? Just think about it.
Well, a lot of people do that because their water specialists.
He has a decent one, but I won't have it. I just have my investment.
Thank you all for doing what you did over here. We really appreciate it.
Okay, everyone, we reconvened at 10:50. With regard to the replats of lot 185A and B, and with regard to the replat of lot 130A and B, we are going to have legal send letters to the appropriate owners to advise them of our regulations. With that, the meeting is adjourned.
Whoever was helping move tables, I'm going to reflect on some of them.
Because this is
Okay, I'm ready to go. I don't need to be around when Julie do it.
All right, I can walk out. You can take the card.
we came, and you guys were done. I said, well, they're done.
Okay, all right.
There's an hour and a half.
They're still looking at
No, I need to
Hey y'all, can somebody come and help move tables?
Yeah,
See you.
No, I get that. As we're getting more and more people involved,
So I'd like to know where they are.
yeah, that's gonna be those two positions that will take place. But they do. Somebody coming the other way.
Maybe we gotta go back to, maybe you need to talk to Tina.
I'm still a little bit commercial.
Maybe she was the treasurer before all this. Explain what it all said.
I can try. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think we go.
66,000 and they haven't done, they haven't transferred. In any one of these accounts, if they had, I'd be able to tell what it was. So, yeah.
How do we know what we have to spend on fixed things when we don't know what we have?
Exactly. That's why I keep going, around 350,000.
What did it look like?
Yeah, exactly.
It looked kind of like this.
Where's the
I'll be grass for you.
The house is a mess, just ignore that part.
See what? You want to see the roaster? Oh.
Field trip.
Just ignore the mess.
All right, that's all done. Let's take this.
Here, would you care